hurricane comes all the time in New Orleans. When it ain't hurricanes, it's flooding. I don't want to live my life like that. So New Orleans is not a place I would never make home. I will always visit and stay a couple of days, a couple of weeks, or whatever, but I'm always leaving.
New Orleans is Hurricane Alley because hurricanes go through there frequently. And for us to lose everything like we did, no. I look. It's a city to visit. It's a beautiful city to go visit. And a lengthy visit, okay, cool. But to go live there, I don't think so.
When I first heard about Hurricane Katrina coming to the city, the first thing was what category it was going to be, because that determined whether or not I stay, I leave. Once we found out it was a category, first we found out it was a category 3, so the intention was to stay. That changed quickly.
This isn't the first hurricane that actually, threatened us when we were in New Orleans. Every time one comes, we plan to leave. Now, if it was a tropical storm, we would try to wait it out. But they said this was a category 5. And, being that I was raised on the island, I know what typhoons are, and I lived through those. We didn't have nowhere to go. But hurricane category 5, no, that's dangerous. That's playing with God if you want to hang around and stay and waiting to see what's going to happen. That wasn't my plan. My plan was to get my family out and get them to safety.
I think the government did as much as they could possibly do at the time, because it was, when I say it was a disaster, and it was a lot of things happening at one time. So I'm sure they was overwhelmed. What I felt that where a lot of fault was with insurance companies, because they turned their backs on their clients, their people that they serviced for all those years, and they used their flood as an excuse not to pay for them to get their homes. So a lot of people lost a lot of stuff, unlike myself. So I think that part needs to be changed, because I feel that if you have insurance on your property and when a disaster happened, insurance companies should be held liable regardless of what it is and pay out, because a lot of them didn't do that. And because of that, people committed suicide and all kinds of things happened, because that was another stressor on those people.
Do I feel as though the government did enough to help the people during and after the storm? I don't know how many people is going to see this, and I don't know how many people feel is going to get hurt, but hell no. No, they didn't. It's a shame how the government, when we evacuated, me and my family, when we evacuated the city, and our son in Florida woke us up and told us to turn the TV on, we did. And we sat there and watched television because we couldn't believe what Katrina was doing to the city. And we sat there, and the President Bush's wife came on there and actually called us refugees. Now, how in the hell are you going to call me a refugee? I done did 22 years United States Army protecting this beautiful land of ours, and you're going to call me a refugee because I've been displaced by a storm. All these people. Now, that's just one thing that teed me off as far as my government. We're refugees. And then it took forever and a day for those who did stay there and went into the storm. If you see any of Spike Lee documentaries or any other documentary that showed the truth of how people was treated during Katrina, a lot of them folks down there said because our skin was black. There was a lot of white folks down there going through that trouble too. But New Orleans is a dominantly black town, if you ask me. But there was a lot of black faces on these documentaries. Don't matter what color the people are. Just the horror that they had to go through for a week and a half, 2 weeks. People in the dome were being raped. People in the dome were being murdered. This is unexcusable. They call us the strongest and freest country in the world. And here it is, just a city. We can go to any other country and save a whole country, but we can't even save a city. I just don't understand that. No, I'm not pleased on what the government did, and the government should be embarrassed on what they did. President gonna fly over the damaged New Orleans. That you really don't want me to go on with that. No, I am not pleased with what the government did. They should be ashamed of themselves.